in agony. A twisted chamber of horrors where the living are learning from the dead. By day, he's a pharmacist. By night, Matt the Tube Crowley pumps his own stomach.
The best part of it is watching people's reactions.
Jenny the dog doesn't chase cats, she rescues them, saving hundreds of stranded felines from adversity.
That's the amazing part about this dog. It actually looks for cats that need saving.
They may look like ordinary paintings, but this artist doesn't use a brush. She uses her breasts. Daredevil Robert Gallup's been shackled, bagged, and caged. Now, he's about to be thrown from a plane.
I create an impossible scenario and I force myself to escape it in real time.
Unbelievable? Believe it on Ripley's Believe It or Not.
Welcome to Ripley's, where you expect to see the truly unbelievable. And once again, you will not be disappointed. It's called the Death Dive, and only one man has ever tried to demonstrate this escape, attempting it only one time. You're about to see why.
What you're about to see is no illusion. With his hands and feet in shackles, Robert Gallup, one of the premier escape artists in the country, will be sealed in a mail bag, locked in a cage, and thrown from an airplane. If he can't get out in time, the results will be catastrophic. For 9 months, Robert has been training for this grueling event. He knows he'll have to push himself to his absolute physical limit if he's to survive.
My escapes are based on reality. I create an impossible scenario and actually force myself to escape it in real time.
Robert seems to live on a constant adrenaline rush. He spends most of his time mountain biking or rock climbing. His sister, Mercedes, says he's always been a thrill seeker.
He's been doing this since he was a little boy. You know, he's doing crazy stuff all the time. It's kind of hard to watch.
Robert's inspiration for his endless adventures is escape artist Harry Houdini.
He would, chain and handcuff himself and jump off of bridges. He'd escape from handcuffs and locks and shackles, and he escaped from mailbags. He escaped from jail cells themselves. And I thought, if he were alive today, what would he do?
So when it came time to plan his next exploit, Robert let his imagination run wild. He came up with the Death Dive, a bold, free-fall endeavor that cannot be faked. One wrong move, and...
The things that most concern me about the Death Dive are not the things that I know and that I've already trained for. It's the things that I couldn't possibly have foreseen.
Dreaming up this fantastic escape was one thing. To get to this point took nearly a year of intense research and planning.
The first thing I had to do to prepare for this was learn how to skydive. They would throw me out of the plane and they would purposely make me tumble in all sorts of ridiculous gyrations and get myself stable, because timing is going to be extremely critical.
The cell itself was another problem. It took 6 attempts before designers finally came up with one that would remain stable during freefall. Then there was the matter of getting out of the shackles on his hands and feet. Robert had to become an expert at picking locks.
For this portion of the escape, I have to get out of the handcuffs in just under 12 seconds. Of course, I still have to get out of leg manacles, the mailbag, and the jail cell.
Perhaps the most crucial detail is timing. Robert will gauge his altitude with an altimeter on his wrist. He must get out of the locks, mailbag, and cell with enough time left over to put on and deploy his parachute at 3,500 feet.
I wanted to create something that was spectacular, something that's never been done before, something that's never even been thought of before.
Robert is just minutes away from putting all of his physical and mental preparation to the test. The plane takes off, and and in a few minutes nears the drop zone at 18,000 feet. It's time for Robert to get chained and cuffed. A police officer verifies that the cuffs are real and in working order. Robert is put into the mailbag, and the cell door is locked. The pilot has opened the giant cargo door. It's time for Robert to face the most crucial moment of his life. Robert has just 60 seconds to escape. After 15 seconds, Robert is still struggling to get out of the bag. With 30 seconds left, he finally gets it open, but something is very wrong. He doesn't know it, but a vacuum created inside the cell has caused his altimeter to malfunction. Robert has no idea how close he is to plunging into the ground. 10 seconds. He's picked the lock on the cell door, but he still has to retrieve and fasten the parachute to his chest. Time has run out. Robert is falling at a rate of 180 feet per second, and he's less than 1,100 feet above the ground, way below the safety zone. He still has to stabilize himself before he can pull his ripcord, or it may get tangled. Every second is crucial. Even if he had a backup chute, he'd have no time to deploy it.
I look over my shoulder just in time to see the cage auguring into the desert floor. And man, a sigh of relief, excitement, exuberation. I was so stoked.
Yeah!
The reality was, I was 5 seconds away from impact.
Robert hasn't decided if he'll try another extreme escape. He does, however, know one thing about this last one.
If I were a cat, I'd definitely use one of my lives. There's no way I'd do this again.
When you're laid to eternal rest, it's supposed to be forever. But if you're required to pay rent for a cemetery plot and then you get evicted, well, there's only one place left for you to rest in peace: the Mummy Museum. This French doctor died of unknown causes. This female died after being hung. More than 100 years after their deaths, these are modern-day mummies. And there's only one place on Earth you can see them. Thousands of tourists flock to Guanajuato, Mexico, to visit the Museo de Momias. Inside the dimly lit museum, visitors get an intimate look at the untouched remains of 108 forgotten residents.
Some of these bodies they have in good condition.
Carlos Martinez is the keeper of the corpses and knows each of their stories.
This is a special thing. In knowing all the places, they have mummies like this. That's why the people, they come to see these bodies.
Through a twist of nature, these bodies were preserved in their graves, mysteriously mummified, leaving the scientific community baffled. And the way they were discovered is nearly as bizarre as the incredible natural phenomenon itself. In 1860, Guanajuato opened a public cemetery. Because of limited space, plots were rented.
The government gave to the family 5 years to pay for the tomb.
If they didn't, the graves were opened and the bodies were taken out. Gravediggers exhumed the first mummy in 1865. It was a visiting French doctor named Leroy Remesio, and they were stunned at what they found. After 5 years in the ground, hair still remained on his head, and his skin clung to his bones. Scientists believe the region's limey, clay-like terrain and warm, dry conditions lead to the nearly perfectly preserved remains. In many cases, the natural mummification also captured the story of their deaths. One corpse clearly carries the marks of a noose that once hung around her neck. No one knows if this was suicide or murder. Another corpse reveals a gunshot wound. All evidence suggests that this golf ball-sized tumor was the cause of death for this unlucky woman. But the most terrifying tale of all may be this one: a woman buried alive. The preserved body clearly shows signs of her struggle to save her life. She is known simply as Ignacia.
The reason is because that woman, she suffered epilepsy attacks. Her family, they trust that she was dead and she was buried.
When corpses are laid to rest, their arms are crossed over their chest. But when Ignacia's casket was opened, her arms were found pressed to her face, her fingers interlocked. One arm is in her mouth as she tried to comfort her cries. Her knees are bent from kicking at the coffin.
She woke up in the tomb. She tried to get off, but she couldn't.
It's just one of the horrifying tales that draws thousands of visitors here every year. We'll be right back.
Next, a 1,000-degree inferno nearly vaporized him.
I want to fill my lens with fire.
The cameraman who takes on the world's most dangerous wildfires.
The fire seems alive.
Plus, why one supermarket's trading in shopping carts for a roller coaster. And the artist using her body parts as a paintbrush on Ripley's Believe It or Not. You're watching Ripley's Believe It or Not.
It was a bear named Smokey who taught us not to play with fire. Well, now there's a shutterbug named Scott who makes a living sticking his camera right into the flames. And this firebug's unbelievable pictures are burning up the evening news.
He's called a fire chaser.
I like to see how fire works. It seems like it may be alive.
But chasing fires has nearly burned him alive.
I've been so close that heat is actually singeing hair off my arms.
God forbid, I'm going to be stuck in the middle of the canyon with fire everywhere and no way to get out.
Scott Meadows is used to dueling with deadly wildfires. But while shooting this footage, the freelance videographer almost lost his life. Scott's fascination with flames began years ago after his father, a natural disaster photographer, took him to his first fire when he was just 15 years old.
So he grabbed the video camera and we took off, and it was exciting. There's firefighters running up and down the street with hose lines, and I made a fair amount of money selling it to TV stations, and I got pretty hooked.
But even more appealing than the money, fire chasers like Scott live for the adrenaline-pumping thrill of capturing these wildfires on camera. And once inside the inferno, conditions can change in an instant. Mike Conway, a fire chaser from Lake Tahoe, Nevada, narrowly escaped with his life as his news camera rolled. Taking cover in the back of a pickup truck, winds shifted, sending a scalding cascade of flames across his body. Mike was lucky to be alive, suffering severe burns to his hands and face. The heat was so intense it burned lettering from his t-shirt onto his fireproof jacket. Mike's frightening brush with death serves as an ominous reminder to other fire chasers like Scott.
It's dangerous. It really gets your heart pounding when you get up to a big blaze.
In October of 1996, Scott heard a frantic call on his scanner. A brush fire had broken out on the bone-dry hillsides of Malibu, California.
I didn't even hesitate. I knew it was going to be a big fire.
Scott followed several fire engines into the blaze, but soon the thick smoke separated him from his escort, and he was surrounded by flames.
I'd be driving down a road with fire on both sides of me, in front of me, under me, above me, hot embers hitting the hood of my car, bouncing off the windshield.
Alone, deep in the canyon, Scott pulled over to shoot some video. He was greeted with a wave of intense heat. A wall of flame was roaring up the ravine.
I got back in the car as fast as I could, put it in a gear, and floored it.
About 150 yards up the road, Scott stopped, grabbed his camera, and looked back.
I was parked right next to the telephone pole and sign, and just completely engulfed the whole area. And it was blowing halfway across the road. And if I had still been parked there and out of the car, I would have been dead.
Shaken but not deterred, Scott continued his hunt for the perfect video. But minutes later, the out-of-control inferno struck again. He was suddenly engulfed in a blizzard of red-hot embers.
I tried to make it back, into my car because it was pretty hard to breathe. There was a lot of heat and a lot of smoke.
Disoriented and blinded by the firestorm, Scott felt the wind sending another wave of searing embers whipping around him.
That wave started to hit me, and I turned around, and it was thick. The camera was pointed at the ground, and the ground disappeared below me.
Then, as quickly as the firestorm attacked, the flames moved on. Miraculously, Scott was uninjured, able to escape the burning canyon. And even though these incredible images could have cost him his life, Scott refuses to give up his fire-chasing quest.
There's never been a time when I've been in a situation that I've been so scared that I even thought for a second that I wouldn't do it anymore. It's a passion, and I can't make that go away.
Just those few seconds of footage where Scott is engulfed in embers has earned him about $80,000 to date.
Ripley's Believe It or Not. This service-oriented supermarket in Shenyang City, China, has come up with an ingenious new way to make shopping easier for its customers. The market installed train tracks on each of the store's 5 floors. Customers ride down the aisles in private cars, selecting items as they go. So far, shoppers seem to prefer this sit-down style of shopping. Customers say it's less stressful and more entertaining than walking around with a shopping cart. There is one major drawback, however. If you miss an item, you'll have to repeat the ride all the way through the store. Nevertheless, designers of the coaster carts are hoping the idea will catch on around the world.
Internet chat rooms can change a person's life. Ripley's found a woman who says that a cyberspace connection actually saved her life. And the odds of her finding this Cupid with a cure were 1 in a billion.
For Teresa Dravik, logging into an internet chat room turned out to be not only the luckiest, but the healthiest thing she ever did. That's where she met the 1 in a billion person who could actually save her life. Teresa was in trouble. After years of fighting a losing battle against kidney disease, her only hope of escaping death was finding someone who was a perfect match to her blood and tissue type, someone who would then donate one of their kidneys to Teresa. But finding that person was proving to be impossible.
The doctors gave up on me. They actually sent me home to die. That's how seriously ill I was.
She was first diagnosed with kidney failure in 1981. Teresa received 1 transplant from a cadaver, but it failed in 1992. The only thing that could save her was to find a living donor.
I needed the transplant as soon as possible because of the risk of infection. And I was getting sicker.
Teresa spent much of her time on the internet, talking to relatives and searching for information that might help save her life. One day, she signed into a chat room based in the United Kingdom and met Ian Fleming, a professional bike racer from Manchester, England. Although Teresa was 4,000 miles away in York, Pennsylvania, the two were soon emailing each other every chance they had.
We had a lot in common. I shared my health problems with Ian right away because I wanted him to know, that I'm not a healthy person, and that is a part of me.
You've got to see the background where I come from. Is that my dad, since I was young, has always been ill. So Teresa's medical problems were mild, as far as I was concerned.
Their online friendship quickly blossomed into romance. After several months of emails, phone calls, and swapped photos, Ian decided to meet Teresa face-to-face. Ian was on a mission and secretly hoped this trip would change his life.
I'm going to be honest there. I probably knew before I came over that I was probably going to ask Teresa to marry me.
The couple spent Christmas of 1997 together. Then Ian popped the big question while he and Teresa were at a New Year's Eve party.
He said, "Teresa, will you marry me?" And it took about 3 seconds, and I said, yes.
But just as the happy couple was making wedding plans, came heartbreaking news. Doctors found a tumor on Teresa's 1 remaining kidney. She would die unless a suitable donor was found immediately.
I watched Teresa's health really go downhill. And I thought, I'm not going to lose her now. And I said to Teresa, let me be tested to be a donor.
But the odds against him being a perfect match were overwhelming.
The chances of Ian matching were 1 billion to 1.
As if by a miracle, against all odds, Ian was a perfect match.
He had a blood type which was compatible with Teresa's, and therefore the transplant could be done.
Not only was Ian able to give her his love, he was also going to donate his kidney to save her life.
I've been practicing nephrology and transplantation for 30 years, and I've never had this situation come up before.
After 2 months of marriage, Teresa and Ian were wheeled into surgery. Doctors worked for 2 hours to remove Ian's kidney, and another 3 hours to transplant the organ into Teresa's body. There was a 50-50 chance her body would reject Ian's kidney. But despite the odds, Teresa's body accepted it without complications.
We like the fact that living kidneys work right away. That helps us a great deal.
Teresa and Ian were up walking around just days after their operations, and doctors say their long-term prognosis is excellent.
All the way to the top, Teresa.
Almost 2 years after a chance meeting online with a man halfway around the world, the only person who could give her the gift of life and love, the union of Teresa and Ian was now a complete success.
We were made for each other, and I'm just glad to have Teresa. There's not much more to say. Really. So, you know, I just love Teresa. So.
Yeah, I love you too.
Cycling has become Teresa's second passion, and she plans to compete in the Transplant Olympics.
Still ahead, the amazing story of a mutt on a mission, sniffing out and saving sick and stray cats.
She must have been a cat lady in a prior life. Come on, Jenny, let's take him to the vet.
Plus, something strange is going on inside this silo. Ripley's reveals this family's secret obsession. And they call this man the Tube. Why? Because he's about to turn his stomach inside out and suck his lunch out through his nose.
This is the very end that actually goes in the nose.
It's all ahead on Ripley's Believe It or Not. You're watching Ripley's Believe It or Not.
Ripley's has found a true cat lover who has
Search the streets for strays every single night for the last 10 years. We'd like to give this animal lover a humanitarian award, except for the fact that she's a dog.
It's one of the world's oldest rivalries. Cats and dogs usually don't get along. But unlike most other canines, this scruffy little dog loves cats. In fact, Ginny has saved the lives of more than 640 felines. Her owner, Phil Gonzalez, says she's truly one of a kind.
I think that Ginny's an angel, or she must have been a cat lady in a prior life.
In fact, this heroic pooch is the only dog in the world known to actively seek out and rescue injured and abandoned cats. And in the process, she's changed her owner's life forever.
The way I describe what Ginny did for me is I was her first true rescue, because she rescued me out of depression. And I think that if I wouldn't have had Ginny, I wouldn't have been here right now.
Ginny's amazing story began 10 years ago when Philip was suffering from severe depression.
A friend of mine suggested that I go to the local shelter and adopt a dog.
Ginny was just what the doctor ordered, and Philip credits their daily walks with helping him get back on track. On one such walk, Ginny showed Phil she had a special gift for nurturing cats.
She saw a cat in a vacant lot, and she was lunging towards it, and I dropped the leash by accident. And she runs towards this cat, and instead of trying to bite the cat, she started licking the cat and cleaning it. You like that little kitty, huh?
Just like this actual rescue of a lost kitten, Ginny often finds strays in trash cans and dumpsters in her Long Beach, New York neighborhood.
Come on, Ginny, let's take him to the vet.
Dr. Louis Gelfand has cared for the hundreds of cats rescued by Ginny.
One of the most impressive would be when Ginny went down into the air conditioning ducts in one of the reconstructed buildings here in Long Beach and brought out a severely injured cat. It wasn't at this stage able to walk properly or feed itself properly. And Ginny came out with this thing in its mouth, and the cat now lives in the home and is functioning fine.
Yes, I found this one. I didn't have a carrier to put him in. He has a collar.
Soon after her first rescue, Ginny made finding felines a full-time job, sometimes bringing in as many as 8 cats in a single week.
Come on, Ginny.
Ginny's unique ability inspired Philip to join her, and each night the two go out on patrol looking for cats in need. Phil acts as Ginny's sidekick, bringing fresh food and water to area strays. Ginny even has her own charity called the Ginny Fund. The proceeds pay for medical care for the sick and hurt cats she finds.
There appears to be a slightly abnormal maternal instinct between Ginny and the cats that she brings in. She certainly cares for them a great deal.
Most of the cats are put up for adoption, but others end up here in Philip's apartment. As many as 30 cats may live here at any given time. Surprisingly, the cats don't seem to mind all the attention. Ginny is an award-winning hero and certainly the first dog to ever be named Cat of the Year.
It was broadcast all over the world. People knew about her. I got letters from Germany, Finland, Australia, Japan, Hong Kong.
And though she is getting on in years, Ginny is showing no sign that she'll ever stop helping her feline friends.
Ginny thinks she's the mother of all cats. Good girl. It's a good girl.
Phil serves up 1,018 cans of cat food per week.
Ripley's world of unbelievable animals. The year is 1958, and hula hoops are taking the world by storm. And this German Shepherd doesn't want to be left out of the action. One Sunday afternoon in Holland, Max watches his owner play with her hula hoop. Always up for a challenge, Max decides to head for the backyard and find his own version of the popular toy, a discarded barrel wren. After a failed first attempt, Max quickly gets the hang of things, to the delight of the other animals in the yard. Max's masterful demonstration proves that what's entertaining to man can also be great fun for man's best friend.
Now, many fathers hope that their kids follow in their footsteps or take over the family business. But in this next case, those steps are a little trickier to follow, and a wrong move might mean a 40-foot fall.
There's something strange going on at the Wolf family farm in Marshfield, Wisconsin. You can hear it coming from inside the grain silo. But instead of finding grain here, you're more likely to find 18-year-old Travis Wolf walking tall. 40 feet tall, to be exact. Travis is a stilt walker. Not just any stilt walker, he's the best there is in the United States.
Awesome.
But then again, he's been working at it since he could first stand up.
I started walking on stilts when I was about 11 months old. I took my second step, and then my dad built me my first pair of stilts that consisted of 2-inch square building blocks.
Travis's dad, Ed Wolf, is also a stilt walker. His passion was ignited as a kid working at the family sawmill, and he built his first pair of stilts out of scrap lumber.
I began walking on stilts just for the fun of it throughout playing around on my spare time. And my dad had the sawmill, so we found some wood laying around, and I would practice around the sawmill and take some practice falls into the sawdust pile.
Ed became so good at stilt walking, he began to perform at parades, festivals, and competitions. Then he met wife Anne Marie.
Hey, you guys!
Although Anne Marie couldn't perform with Ed, she did help develop her replacement. First, there was son Travis. Travis was followed by Tony, then Ashley, then Jordan. All 4 kids soon learned the sawmill wasn't the only family business.
When I first started walking on stilts, I was 7 years old.
I started walking on stilts when I was 3 years old. I was 2 or 3 years old when I started walking on stilts.
A healthy rivalry now has these siblings trying to outstep each other. Brother Travis is the current king of the hill, and this empty grain silo is his stomping ground.
Inside the silo, it's great to know that you're fully safe and that you will not hit the ground at all if you tip over.
And the stilts are as heavy as they are lengthy. The tallest ones weigh in at a whopping 57 pounds each.
They're pretty heavy.
And all that weight can make practice a grueling experience.
Physically walking on stilts is kind of hard. Your legs get tired after a while.
You got to work your way up, starting from the 1 foot all the way up to the 40 foot that we've done. You just practice, practice, practice.
Ed is now the patriarch of a stilt walking dynasty. And all of the kids want to follow in Dad's stilted footsteps. For 20 years, Steady Eddie Wolf held the record for stilt walking. But in 1998, Ed's record of 40 feet 9.5-inch stilts was finally broken. Wearing a harness for safety, Ed's own son Travis took away his dad's title.
Got a new record. You got 26 steps.
One of my dreams was to have him break my world record, and he definitely did it, and it just made my day, or made my life.
It was kind of neat just to follow in my dad's footsteps.
But Travis may soon face some stiff competition.
The way it looks, my youngest brother, Jordan, he's going to be the rivalry. He's going to come up, and he's the one that wants to break the record someday.
Yeah, I want to break my brother's record when I'm about 15, 16.
Fat chance, says Travis, because he's not giving up the title without a fight.
I've only had the record for 2 years now or so, I want to keep it myself for a little while.
No matter who holds the record, his children's enthusiasm for the pastime he loves has Ed Wolf walking tall.
It's just the greatest feeling that Dad could ever have.
Still ahead, this Hindu holy man stood on his feet for 7 straight years. But his most agonizing achievement was yet to come. And how one exotic painter is turning her body into a body of artwork, next on Ripley's.
It's time to meet an artist named Angel. She paints with her breasts. I'm sure she'll have no trouble finding people to volunteer to be her canvas.
A fish? A martini? A hurricane? These works of art may not end up in the Smithsonian, but they are in great demand. That's because the painter doesn't use a brush to create. She paints with her breasts.
My artwork really is a celebration of nature and everyday things. And, you know, when you start looking around the world, it seems everything is in kind of like in a circular pattern. And I just wanted to come up with just these fun things and show them the world.
Angel Tolentino has always enjoyed handcrafting unique gifts for friends. One day, inspiration struck, and what she calls breast art was born.
My sister was taking these sponges and dipping them into paint and pressing them onto canvas. And she was just making this artwork, and I thought, well, maybe my breasts could do the same thing.
Angel has painted whimsical designs from insects to flowers to fruit, but Angel's anatomically created illustrations are more difficult to accomplish than they appear.
You know, sometimes it doesn't quite turn out the way you want it, because you can't really even see the detail, so we're going to start all over again.
Angel experimented with different methods of applying paint to her breast before settling on the stamp pad technique that she now uses. First, she places a thin layer of paint on a metal cookie sheet. This is where she draws the pattern that she will transfer to the canvas with her breast.
This is what I call my boobie.
Angel's friends and family are not at all embarrassed by her body-bearing compositions. They are actually very supportive, especially her fiancé, Woody Coker.
It is wholesome, but it's modest, and she's actually quite shy.
When Angel began her distinctive chest creations, she had no idea how much attention she would receive.
The world seems to be fascinated with breasts in general. I think breasts are really a symbol of womanhood, and everybody knows that. But it goes beyond that because women use them to nurture their children. That way I could just show that symbolically on paper, and when people look at it and say, oh, this is fun art, but also keep in mind that there's a message behind all that.
Demand for Angel's artwork is so high that she sells prints on the internet, donating 30% of the proceeds to breast cancer research.
Next, what's this man pumping out of his insides? The same stuff he's pouring into these cocktail glasses. The gut-wrenching demonstration some may find hard to stomach.
That was just wrong.
When Ripley's returns.
Nearly every kid has been scolded at the dinner table not to play with their food. Well, apparently for little Matthew Crowley, that warning went in one nostril and out the other. Yeah, I said nostril. And I hope you finished your dinner because you won't want seconds after this.
Matt Crowley has an unimaginable way of consuming food. He can devour this table of condiments and more through his nose.
I've always been interested in science, the way the world works, chemistry, medicine.
Got anything for a runny nose?
Probably the most meaningful part of the whole day is being able to help people out, answering their questions, talking about their concerns. The most common treatment for that is going to be antihistamines.
Matt is no ordinary pharmacist. Actually, he's no ordinary human being. His fascination with the human body has led to a demonstration that is best seen, not described.
I'm not out to try to horrify people, and I honestly, genuinely hope that people are entertained. That's what I hope to do.
Just what is Matt doing? It is called a gastric lavage, a practice that usually requires a medical device used for pumping out people's stomachs. A recent newlywed living in Seattle, Matt and his wife enjoy a quiet life at home when he's not working. It was as a pharmacy student that Matt first became familiar with the gastric lavage.
Lavage is what usually happens when someone gets something in their stomach that really shouldn't be there. The common term is called stomach pumping. That's where some tubing is put into a person, and with suction, they pull what's in the stomach out, and that is called lavage. The opposite of that is called gavage, in which you put something into the stomach.
During college, someone gave Matt a gag gift, literally. It was a stomach pump obtained from a local hospital.
And I tried it, and I put the tubing in one nostril, and I couldn't even get it into my throat. I tried the other nostril, I can get it to my throat, but it made me gag so much, I just set it aside.
But the gift led to an obsession, and Matt decided to manufacture his own gastric lavage unit, specifically designed to fit his internal proportions. What Matt does is so visually shocking it may look like an illusion, but he explained how every stomach-churning moment is real.
This is the barrel, and this is about 7 feet of very soft tubing. This is the very end that actually goes in the nose. We fill this with liquid. My assistant plunges it like this, pulls it back out here, and we are able to evacuate a large amount of the liquid that goes into me.
Matt rounded up an audience of his peers to demonstrate his talent step by step.
Good evening, I'm Matt the Tube Crowley. This is what I call the tube demonstration.
The tubing goes 7 feet inside Matt's body. Using a stomach pump on yourself is extremely dangerous and certainly not recommended by doctors. He starts by filling up the chamber with carbonated soda, then an antacid, then chocolate syrup, and finally, ketchup.
Your body is saying, shouldn't be there. Your mind tells you to pull it out, stop doing this.
40 ounces of Matt's concoction are plunged down the tube.
It's like going from an empty stomach to the feeling of a full Thanksgiving dinner in about 20 seconds. It does become painful up until the time that the pressure is removed by pulling out the contents.
But Matt's not done yet. What goes in is now coming out. The liquid is being sucked back into the canister.
Thank you.
But wait, he's not finished. The final and most unbelievable part of Matt's demonstration requires assistance from someone in the audience.
Anybody care to have a drink? All right, we've got a volunteer. Excellent. A toast.
This demonstration was too much to stomach for some of Hollywood's most seasoned performers.
That was just wrong. That was just disgusting. I don't know what to say. It was amazing. It really was. Disgusting, but amazing. I have no idea why he ever wanted to do that.
When I can do something that makes someone else look at me in awe, that's a really profound experience that goes beyond just having fun.
Nice work.
Thank you.
Yep, he really drank it. We'll be right back.
Next, this old box may appear harmless, but a closer look exposes its sinister past. Its living cargo revealed when we travel to the Ripley vault. Next.
Take a look at this box. It just seems like a big chest with a hole cut in the middle. But notice something. That cutout is just large enough to fit someone's head through. And locks and chains were designed to go here and here. This is a Mongolian torture box collected by Robert Ripley himself in the 1930s during one of his world tours. Now, you'd think that a torture device would have spikes or something inside, but not in this case. After being locked inside, the wooden chest and the helpless victim were left in the great Mongolian desert to slowly starve to death, with the victim's head exposed underneath the merciless Mongolian desert sun. Unbelievable? Believe it.